The snooze button existing is the bane of my existence. I press it way too many times for my own good. And I was going through this laundry list of things that I could do to myself if I press the snooze button, like dumping a gallon of freezing water on my head, or the bed flinging me against the wall, or maybe just causing intense PTSD by setting myself on fire. But I decided against all those in favor of something even more clinically insane, which is every time I press the snooze button, the alarm actually continues to go off. Now, that's a little bit boring. That's not good enough for me. You know, I don't want to have to rewire just one alarm clock into itself so that whenever I press the snooze button, it just turns the alarm on. That's kind of boring. So I figured it could be a never-ending train of insomnia that constantly keeps me awake and forces me to actually move around as well. So let's go ahead and do some quick analysis on these two little gizmos right here. So as you can probably see, you notice right here there are these three buttons that correspond to these three buttons right here. This little temperature sensor right here where you can check the Celsius and Fahrenheit, and then these two switches on the sides that are doing a lot of the work. What's also a little bit more apparent is how the snooze is working. You'll see that right here there's this really long bar, but there's nothing to press it on here. It's actually these two really small buttons right here, and all it is controlled by these two little pins. So if you put it on there, no matter where you press it, you'll actually be able to depress the button. This right here is what's controlling the sound system and making sure that this turns off whenever you press this. Here's the thing about these two. Let me tell you something. Fuck these two things. They're ass. You want to know why they're ass? Here, look up at me. Look up, look up, look up. Look up at me. Here's what I want you to know, is that this right here, this is ass. Every time I press this stupid little button, the alarm turns off. I don't want to do that. I want to cause an unending cycle of sleep deprivation. Every time I press this button, it starts another alarm. We're going to rig up 8 to 10 of these things, cause a non-stop sleep deprivation cycle, and absolutely blow my sanity out of the water. Let's do it, because this is ass. Yes, I did use ChatGPT to write my code, because I don't want to take the time to do everything. Do you blame me? A little too hot. Maybe not hot enough. Please work, please work, please work, please work, please work, please work, please work. Let's see how I can salvage this little piece of shit. Oh, death. Why is it not wanting to? That's why. Ooh, but there's no noise anymore. Little guy on guy, dude on dude, you know what I'm saying? I almost cut the fucking wire. We know our DD. I mean, technically that works. Work, damn you. Don't really care. Work. Ooh. What you see that I have here is I have the alarm clock plugged into an Arduino, which is hooked up to an LED. Now, the reason that it's kind of flashing right now is because it's hooked up to the reserve power, which is this third battery over here. But when I plug in the extra battery, it permanently stays on while this alarm is going off. And it does stay on until I press the button that we talked about earlier. When I press that button, that green light stays off. On and off. On and off. On and off. On, off, on, off. So now I need to figure out what's turning on the alarm, and so I don't have to manually set the time on each of these. I can just activate it with a little bit of code that I inject into the circuit board. Here's what I've come up with. This alarm clock is actually built in with its own logic controller, meaning that it's a little bit too complicated for me just to press the button, send a signal, and then have the alarm go off by itself. There's not a lot I can do to get around that. However, there's another way to start the alarm. But Grayson, if the alarm's not set, how do you even start the alarm? I'm getting to that. So whenever I turn on the alarm clock, listen to what happens. Here's the thing. Every single time I turn on the alarm clock, it actually sets the alarm off. So now the idea is, every time I press one of these buttons, it's gonna send off a cascading wave of endless alarm clocks where it cycles between on and off until I can press that button, and it does that for the next one, and the next one, and the next one, in a perpetual motion machine of sleep deprivation and insanity. And if you're sitting there saying, oh, Grayson's faking it, Grayson's pulling the battery out every single time so that it actually resets, Grayson's doing this, Grayson's doing that. You know what? Here's a little lesson in sign language for you if you can't learn a lesson in respect, okay? Check this one out. I don't really care what you think. It works for me, and it's how it's gonna work. Eat a bag of dick. So as scrumptious as burning plastic is, I didn't really want to be inhaling it anymore, so I bought this mask to protect me from the fumes. And then I'm also going to wear these safety goggles now so that I don't get shit in my eye when I'm drilling into the cases and, you know, trying to solder. So, best of luck to me. Fuck. Ugh. Oh, it's done. It's done. Okay, so I originally bought 8 of these, and I fucked up the soldering really bad, so now there's only 5. But I can never get it the right fucking way first. Why is it not working? What happened? Why is it not working? Oh, you piece of shit. Oh, I know why. I know exactly why. So this is the startup sequence you would see to let you know that the power is on. It'll flash 3 times, and then until I press the button while it's turned on, and then it'll go to the next one. And it'll keep doing that, like I said, as a perpetual sleep disorder and cause incredible amounts of insomnia so that I get out of bed in time. There's a lot of different ways to use this never-ending motor of endless wakefulness. So let me give you a couple reasons how I cure my loneliness and depression with this right now. I'm going to try and move this right now, but it's not exactly the most portable thing in the world. It looks like a main event ropes course gone awry. And that's not really good for moving things around. And also picking something up and trying to put it back down could potentially just break the soldering and get rid of all the effort that I put in to get this to work. But it's daytime and I have a little bit of motivation to actually do something, so I'm gonna move it into my little living space and see if I can show you what I was talking about. So here's the thing. While it was originally designed to be a non-stop roller coaster of insomnia, I also figured out that it's a bop it machine. Except if your only option was to bop it, and there's multiple buttons, and the game never ends. So not a bop it machine at all. On top of that, I figured out how to cure my loneliness and depression. Since I don't have a lot of friends and never had a lot of friends, I never really experienced the game of Duck Duck Goose very much. So here's a clip of me embarrassing myself. Duck, 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 duck. This machine is a lot less useful than I realized. It's absolutely perfect.